First of all, the things we can do and the things we should do. It's actually easier or more appropriate to do things collectively. It's like climate change, for those of you who engage in the belief of climate change. It's like it's happening, and it may not be anything I can do by myself, but collectively we can do something. So what are some of the strategies to actually address implicit bias? One of them, of course, is actually being in relationship with others and doing it where others are in relationship in a critical mass. We can do audits of physical space. There's a concept called ambience belonging, which is basically saying, does the environment tell you you belong or not? A couple of examples. Think of someone in a wheelchair. They come up and there's no ramp for them to get up into the building. It's not simply they can't get in the building. We've actually sent a message to them that says, you don't belong here. Think of someone who's Jewish, and they come into a building, and there's a giant big cross, or there's a giant, all these things are symbols. Think of a dollar bill. Think of this. We, for 200 years, have had currency, although national currency, really only since the Civil War. Every dollar bill has a picture of a man. So for 200 years, you're constantly spending and being reminded, yes, indeed, this is a man's world. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying the people who built the building and didn't build a ramp were hostile to people with disabilities, but once we become aware of it, then we're responsible. When we don't know it, we can't do anything about it. But once someone says, you know what, this ramp is not accessible, it's like, oh my God, I didn't think of that. But now you've clued me in. Let me do something. So once we know that having students check a box about race before they take a test is likely to produce negative outcomes, we become responsible. So the knowledge that you have about how these things work makes you responsible both individually and collectively.